While Giannis Antetokounmpo is playing like a top 3 MVP candidate so far throughout the midpoint of this season, the Milwaukee Bucks are not only the best team in the Eastern Conference in my opinion, they're the best team in the NBA. Now, before I actually get into why I believe the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in the NBA, if you guys don't know already, I do a podcast every single week called the Don't Overthink It Podcast with my co-host Chill Takes, where we talk NBA and NFL every Thursday or Friday morning. The podcast comes out on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and you can even find it here on YouTube. If you guys want to go check out that podcast, I will link to it down below in the description. But now let's actually get into why I believe the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in the NBA. So as of right now, we are about to transition out of the NBA All-Star break, and the Milwaukee Bucks are currently sitting in the number 5 seed in the Eastern Conference, just 2.5 games back of the number 1 seed, who is currently the Miami Heat, sitting at a record of 36-24. But the Milwaukee Bucks are led by who I believe is the best player in the NBA in Giannis Antetokounmpo when healthy, and that means no disrespect to Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Jokic, the list goes on. Giannis, to me, both ends of the floor, is the most dominant and the best player in the world. Let's actually talk about the team aspect of this first, because the Milwaukee Bucks, in terms of team three-point percentage, rank number 7 in the NBA at 36.1% shooting from behind the arc. They rank number 6 in team points per game at 113.2. Offensive efficiency, they rank number 5, and in rebounds per game, they rank number 4 at 54.4 rebounds per game. Now let's actually go over their depth before I actually get into why Giannis is just that phenomenal. You go down the list and you look at a guy like Chris Middleton, who's been there, done that. He's been an all-star in this league, and he showed last season in the playoffs he can be a closer when it matters the most. Chris Middleton in 48 games is averaging 19.4 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists, 44% from the field, 35% from deep, and shooting 88% from the charity stripe. Chris Middleton's a phenomenal player, one of the better two-way wings in the game. Then you talk about Jrue Holiday, a guy who's another piece to that big three for the Milwaukee Bucks, averaging 18.1 points per game, 4.6 rebounds, 6.6 assists per game, shooting 50% from the field, 40% from deep, and also 76% from the free throw line. He's almost a part of that 50-40-90 club if he could just get that free throw percentage up. And obviously, Brook Lopez has only played in 1 game this season. He had that back surgery. He should be coming back soon, but that means that a guy like Bobby Portis, who's really had a career season, has gotten an opportunity to elevate his game. In 28 minutes per game this season, Bobby Portis, in 46 starts, is averaging 15.3 points per game, 9.1 rebounds, 48% from deep, and he's shooting 40.2% from 3. He was a huge reason as to why they had a lot of success last season in the playoffs, and Bobby Portis has really elevated his game this season. Then you still go down the list. They traded for Serge Ibaka at the deadline, even though they lost DiVincenzo and Rodney Hood. Ibaka is going to be a great piece because they don't have DeMarcus Cousins anymore, who didn't really fit. Greg Monroe really wasn't fitting, and obviously they don't have Brook Lopez back yet. I think Ibaka is going to be a huge upgrade defensively and on those catch and 3 shoots. Then you got George Hill still, you got Grayson Allen, you got Bembry. They've got a lot of depth, and I didn't even mention Pat Connaughton, who's averaging 10.1 points per game, 46% from the field, 40% from 3, and he's also making 2 threes a game. Pat Connaughton is a very good player, very great role player. The Bucks have been there, they've done that, and I trust them. Now let me actually talk about Giannis, who's playing like a top 2 or 3 NBA MVP candidate. So if the season were to end today, Giannis Antetokounmpo would have a PER of 32.3, which would finish with the number 2 all-time player efficiency rating in a single season. Number 1 would be Nikola Jokic at 32.57 in terms of his player efficiency rating, which would rank number 1 all-time. And I've already made a video about 2 months ago discussing why I believe Jokic is the MVP, and I still feel that way, even though Giannis is the best player in basketball. If you guys want to see that video, I will link to it up above. But Giannis has just played that great. In the 49 games he's played in this season, he's averaging 29.4 points per game, 11.2 rebounds, 6 assists per game, shooting 54% from the field, 30.9% from deep, 1.7 blocks per game, and he's also chipping in a steal per game as well. But since the new calendar year has flipped into 2022, through the 20 games Giannis has played in through this new calendar season, he's been on a tear. 32.2 points per game, 11 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 57% from field, and he even got that 3-point percentage up to 36% in these last 20 games. And he's number 5 in the NBA in terms of plus minus at plus 501 when he's on the court. Giannis has been there, done that. He's a reigning 2-time MVP, finals MVP, dropped 50 in a closeout game versus the Phoenix Suns. And with the injury to Chris Paul, I believe that the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in the NBA. It's not even close. Now let's actually talk a little bit about why I believe that they had the advantage over a couple other contenders in the Eastern Conference. So a big matchup that everyone wants to talk about is the Philadelphia 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks. If they match up in the playoffs, who's going to get the best of that matchup? Because Giannis is playing like an MVP. Joel Embiid's playing the best basketball he's ever played in his career. They just traded for James Harden, which I think is a phenomenal trade for both teams, for the Brooklyn Nets and for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think Harden complements Embiid well. We'll have to see how that actually work out. But when we talk about a head-to-head matchup, which the Sixers and the Bucks have never matched up in the playoffs, when we talk about Embiid versus Giannis, in the 10 regular season games that Giannis and Embiid have played against each other, Giannis has won that matchup 6-4. Giannis also is dominating Joel Embiid in every statistical category in their matchups when he's averaging 33.1 points per game, 14 rebounds per game, 6.8 assists, 1.5 steals, and Embiid's got him on the blocks, 1.7 compared to 1.9. Embiid's got him there. But Joel's not too shabby either in these matchups, 27.8 points per game, 11.8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and the 1.9 blocks. So Joel's still doing his thing, but Giannis wins these matchups consistently time and time again. Plus, I trust the Milwaukee Bucks in those matchups. I think the Miami Heat are phenomenal. I think the Chicago Bulls are a great, scrappy team. DeMar DeRozan's playing like a top 5 MVP candidate. There's a lot of great teams in the East, and obviously the Brooklyn Nets. I'm just saying, based off history, based on, I think Giannis the best player in basketball offensively and defensively when you combine it to a whole, I trust the Bucks. I don't think that he's intimidated by Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Ben Simmons. I don't think he's intimidated by Joel Embiid and James Harden, even though I think that pairing is phenomenal. I trust the Bucks to, at minimum, get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I see this team winning it all if they're healthy, versus the Golden State Warriors, versus the Phoenix Suns, versus the Utah Jazz, versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Whoever gets out of the West, whoever they match up with in the East, all bias aside, the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in the NBA. Giannis is the best player in the NBA. They have some of the best depth in the NBA. And Mike Budenholzer proved to us last season he can coach up an NBA championship caliber team. And he sure as hell did that. And I expect the exact same result this season. Mark my words, the Milwaukee Bucks, if healthy, are winning the 2022 NBA championship. They are going to go back to back. But that's it for this video. I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Do you guys think that Giannis is the best player in basketball? And do you guys also think that the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in basketball? I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. And if not, let me know who you guys think is the best team and the best player in basketball. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. It takes 1 second and it helps me in the channel out tremendously. And also considering subscribing for more NBA and Jacksonville Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube. But Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. Peace.